Before he gave us Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice, Batman, Edward Scissorhands, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Corpse Bride, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Sweeney Todd, Alice in Wonderland, or even Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Tim Burton gave us this. Let us talk about both versions of Frankenweenie. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you all as the Big D, with another back-to-back review. And this time around, I bring to you a review of the first ever thing, well, one of the first few things given to us by Tim Burton, Frankenweenie. Now, it's sort of the first thing, because Frankenweenie started out as a short film in 1984. I was going to review this last year, but I got sidetracked and I thought I'd put that on hold. And so I'm actually going to be reviewing this along with the animated movie, which I've made a slight error. I said it was 2011 when it came out. I've made a slight error. It's 2012 when it came out. So I do apologize, everyone. I just forgot. Whoops. Anyway, so let's start out with the original. I'm going to try not to give too much of this away because this is a short film. Of course, this is a parody and homage to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Anyway, the film's about a young boy named Victor Frankenstein. Now, in the short, he's played by Barrett Oliver, who that same year was also in The Never-Ending Story. Now, he creates movies with his dog Sparky, a bull terrier, whose name is a reference to the use of electricity in the film. Well, after Sparky's hit by a car, Victor learns at school that, well, he could possibly bring his dog back after learning about electricity and how its impulses in muscles, and that gave him inspiration. So he uses machines to bring back the dog, but apparently scares some of the neighbors and what have you. That included well, their next door neighbor, Mr. Chambers, and his daughter, Anne Chambers. If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to learn something. Now, let me see. Now, actually, I just learned something. Now, the character of Anne Chambers was played by someone called Domino, but as it turns out, it was a young Sofia Coppola. Yeah, you better believe it. I didn't know that was her. Wow. I just found out. Gee whiz, this is incredible. I bet y'all didn't know that. I didn't. I just checked my sources until, well, anyway, now much to the surprise of his parents, who are played by Shelley Duvall, who of course best known for her work in movies such as The Shining, which I'm sorry, I just wasn't quick enough to get a chance to review that. Don't you worry, none. I'll try and make up for that, okay? And also Popeye. Look for a review of that coming up next month. And Daniel Stern, who, of course, this was still a little bit before he was in the first two Home Alone movies, and also was the voice of the grown-up version of Kevin Arnold on TV's The Wonder Years. But anyway, also, another fun fact that Paul Bartel is Victor's science teacher, Mr. Walsh. Now, of course, he's appeared in several movies, most notably several cult classics like the original Piranha, and let's see, Oh yeah, and Shopping Mall, as well as Sesame Street Presents Follow That Bird, and National Lampoon's European Vacation, and Caddyshack 2. Oh yeah, and Gremlins 2, the new batch. Wow. Another familiar person I learned about this was, well, Paul C. Scott, who plays one of Victor's friends, a little black boy, and we don't actually know his name, but we find out his name's Mike Anderson, who is played by Paul C. Scott, who the following year would go on to be a recurring character of Reggie Williams on TV's Small Wonder. Yes. Anyway, when all this occurs, when they decide to introduce Sparky to the neighborhood, it just goes into chaos, and they track down Sparky to a local miniature golf course, hides in the windmill, and well, apparently, well, I think you should probably know the story. One of you. Well, I'm sure you know the story of how stuff goes in Frankenstein, so I think you know the story, okay? But anyway, I really liked the original Frankenweenie. I still have a videotape of it, but it's locked up in storage. You can find this on Disney Plus. But if you don't have Disney Plus, if you want it on physical media, the only way you can actually get it now is on the Frankenweenie animated movie. It was included as a special feature on both. I'm pretty sure on both of these. Hang on a second. Oh yes, it was only included on the Blu-ray release, but it was featured on the special edition of The Nightmare Before Christmas, as well as the collector's edition and Blu-ray 3D releases of that. Very interesting. So anyway, yeah, I'd say definitely give it a shot. I mean, the original Frankenweenie is good. It has great characters. The movie might be short on the short side, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. All right, now let's talk about the remake. In 2012, this came out, let's see, 28 years later. And of course, Tim Burton once again directed this. Now, actually, if you wait until the end, during the end credits, you'll actually get to see Barrett Oliver, Daniel Stern, and uh, Shelley Duvall's names mentioned in the special things, plus some other people, plus a couple others who worked on the short film. Anyway, now the voice cast includes four actors who have actually recently worked with Burton. Winona Ryder, who was in Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands, Martin Short from the cult classic Mars Attacks, Catherine O'Hara, also from Beetlejuice and The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Martin Landau from Ed Wood and Sleepy Hollow. Plus some new actors. Anyway. Now, of course, this has an even more big load of tongue-in-cheek stuff and what have you. This is more a tongue-in-cheek film containing numerous references and parodies related to the Frankenstein story, as well as past film versions of the story, other literary classics, and other films which Mr. Burton has directed. Now, if you watch closely in one scene, you'll actually get to see Disney's animated feature Bambi mentioned. Look for a review of that coming up in December. And now, of course, well, apparently Victor is, well, like the first one, like the original, Victor loses his dog Sparky and uses the power of electricity to resurrect him. But he is then blackmailed by his peers into revealing how they can reanimate their own deceased pets and other creatures, resulting in mayhem. Now, Now, his intelligence is recognized by his classmates, including his somber next door neighbor, Elsa Van Helsing. That's Winona Ryder's character. And the mischievous Edgar Igor, which that was a character I actually liked. I liked Elsa as well, so Elsa and Edgar are a couple of the characters I actually liked in this movie. And then there's two others, the obese and gullible Bob, who if let me look here, whose mother was voiced by Conchana Farrell, whom we sadly lost last week. Of course, you mostly know her as Burra of TV's 2.5 Men fame. Let's see now. And let's see, the overconfident Toshiaki, the creepy Nassor, and an eccentric girl, oddly nicknamed Weird Girl, who has a kind of a bug-eyed cat named Mr. Whiskers. Anyway, now apparently, Sparky's death involves getting a baseball, but Victor was just trying to play fetch with him. But however, in this version, it involves a baseball game because Victor's father encourages him to take up baseball, make achievements outside of science. But anyway, now Victor got the inspiration in this here by his new science teacher, Mr. Rice Krispies. Yeah, kind of a silly name. Kind of sounds like Rice Krispies. I'm sorry. I was just having some fun with y'all on that to see if you were paying attention. Anyway, and well, after Mr. Whiskers sees the resurrected Sparky, he escapes from the Frankenstein's attic and explores the neighborhood, and is soon recognized by Edgar, who he is forced to teach him and other classmates about this. Oh boy. Now, I think one of the fun moments is the ending. Now, there are some different aspects from this than the original, because now, unlike the original short film, we learned this version takes place in a city called New Holland. Yeah. And the finale takes place at a bigger windmill, unlike the windmill thing we saw at the miniature golf course in the short film. Let me see now. And anyway, all these kids try to bring back pets from the dad. Now the weird girl gets changed into a bat cat hybrid while holding a dead bat. Edgar turns a dead rat he found in the garbage into a were-rat. Nassor revives his mummified hamster Colossus. Toshiaki's turtle Shelly is covered in miracle grow and turns into a kaiju-like monster. Yeah, does Godzilla ring a bell? And Bob's sea monkeys grow into amphibious humanoids. And they break loose and wreak havoc. Oh wow, this is just so much fun. But even so, I have to say it wasn't too bad. I mean, I liked this just as much as almost as much, not just as much. I prefer to say almost. I mean, story's not too bad. I mean, and the voice acting cast is really good actually. Now, Charlie Taham voices Victor. Now, I have to say that he did a pretty good job, as a matter of fact. And let's see. Voice got Frank Welker, who, of course, is still voicing Asurian Scooby Doo, does the vocal effects for Sparky. Martin Short voices Edward Frankenstein, Victor's father, as well as, let's see. Yeah. And Nassor and Mr. Burgermeister, the mayor of New Holland. And of course, he's a homage to Burgermeister Meisterburger from the Rankin Bass Holiday Special, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which I've already reviewed that. Catherine O'Hara voices Susan Frankenstein, Victor's mother. See, the gym teacher and Weird Girl. Martin Landau voices Mr. Rice. And of course, the character was inspired by Burton's childhood icon, the legendary Vincent Price, who appeared in Edward Scissorhands, as that would be his last movie. I mentioned Winona Ryder is the voice of Elsa. Let's see. Atticus Schaefer is Edgar, real good. Let's see. We have Robert Capron as Bob. And of course, the late Conchata Farrell as Bob's mother. James Hiroki Liao as Toshiaki. Yeah, and plus we have other voices, including Tom Kenny, D. Bradley Baker. Heck, even the late great Christopher Lee as Dracula, and stock footage from Dracula, or should I say, House of Dracula. Yeah. So anyway, and also this Frankenweenie actually has a pretty good score by Danny Elfman, who is certainly no stranger to working with Mr. Burton. So, would I recommend the animated version of Frankenweenie? Yeah, sure, go ahead. I think it's worth a shot. I mean, you might like it or you may not. I mean, you be the judge. But I like both Frankenweenies, but for different reasons, though. The live action one, I've had more fond memories of it ever since I was a youngin'. And as for the animated one, which I've only seen twice now, it's still not too bad. It's trying to grow on me a bit, but it has some pretty good characters in ways. Some of them are pretty funny, and some are, well, I don't know. Like I said. Now, what are your thoughts on Frankenweenie? Tell me which version you like. Did you like the live action short film from 1984, or do you like the 2012 stop motion anime feature? Yeah, I almost forgot to point out that this was done in stop motion animation, just like The Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride. So, anyway. Again, tell me which version of Frankenweenie do you like, the live action short or the stop motion anime feature? Tell me in the comment section below. And if you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you my next Saturday morning TV log of Teen Wolf from 1986. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like this, you can check out some of these other fun-filled the things flicks and what have you that I've done. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the recent Netflix movie, A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting. In the upper right-hand corner is my back-to-back review of Disney's Zombies and Zombies 2. Both of which have already gotten 10 views after they've only been out for a day or two. And if you want more Tim Burton, go to the bottom left-hand corner for my re-review of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that I did this past summer. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.